went to a marketing event in the House of the Parliament not that long ago, and as you do, you bump into someone, you say, hey, what do you do? And he said, I run a successful business in the Midlands area. What do you do? And I said, I run a successful business doing health and safety. And he went, ugh, I hate health and safety. In this video, we're going to explore why so many people hate health and safety and give you some tips to stop that happening in your business. Let's go. Today's video is brought to you by Riskfluent Consulting. If you need some help with this stuff, feel free to get in touch with me, James at riskfluentltd.com. One of the other things that helps us remove the frustrations from health and safety is technology. And that's a great segue onto another sponsor of this video, which is Risk Assessor Pro. If you want to download Risk Assessor and try it free of charge, go to riskassessor.net. You can try 14 days completely free. And if you want to have a chat, please email me, James at riskfluentltd.com. So let's get back to my gentleman I met at networking. The thing is, this guy's not alone, right? Many people, many business owners, particularly in the SME world, feel the same as he does. And you know what? So do I sometimes. He's not technically wrong. A lot of things we do in safety are really frustrating. Some of those things are done for the right reasons. Some of those things are not. But let's explore what this looks like. So what I want to talk about here is what does a good business look like first, right? A good business, if you go and have a business coach or you spend 10 minutes on YouTube watching business coachy type channels, right? These are the things that a business coach will tend to tell an organization. A good business has clear responsibilities, clear roles and responsibilities. Do people in your workforce know what their job is and what they're going to be held to account for, what they need to do, right? The next thing they'll say is, do we have some simple systems? Do we have systems in place that guide people in the right direction? Often we focus on sales and marketing when we talk about that stuff, which is totally fine because that's the main focus of a business coach, right? The main focus of me is risk management and stopping people getting hurt, stopping people like yourself, business owners, managers, ending up in court. The next thing they'll talk about, KPIs and dashboards, right? The interesting thing here, right, is how they do it. So the first thing is, do you have KPIs and dashboards? That's what a good business looks like, is they've got some key performance indicators and they've got a dashboard in which a CEO or a managing director can get a quick snapshot of where we are right now and how we're doing. These have become a bit of a trend of lately. You only have to YouTube CEO dashboards for like 2 minutes and you'll get loads of videos on this stuff, right? But here's the interesting point. All of these are like presence of good things, what we call the presence of positives. They're all things that are like, these are all the good things happening. There will be a couple of absence of negatives in there, totally will be, right? Totally understandable. But most of them will be, we're on budget, right? We're doing this, we're doing it. And they'll all be positive things. We've generated X amount of leads, right? They're all positive narrative. Remember that. And the next thing they're going to have is regular reviews. They're going to have constant conversations, sales meetings, marketing meetings. We have constant conversations where we're going, how are we doing? What can we do better? What's working well? What's not working well? Finally, we'll have a support system. We'll have a central support team. We'll have people we can talk to, and we'll have good communication, right? The sales team will have good comms with the marketing team. They'll be working together as a collaborative strategy. That is, in a nutshell, what a good business looks like. Right? But let's think about, what does normal safety look like? Normally when we think about health and safety, we get a couple of things. Slopey shoulders, right? We go to the safety person, we need some help on this, can you give us some advice? Can't give you advice because that's not my job, you need to come up with a solution. What I can tell you is that the Health and Safety at Work Act says that it's your duty to come up with the right solution. Not helpful, right? This avoidance of accountability and responsibility, whether it's the safety people, whether it's an operations manager, managing director, doesn't matter. When we talk about safety, everyone seems to get slopey shoulders, and it's not helpful. Confusion. Now, the Health and Safety at Work Act and most of health and safety legislation is beautifully vague, I call it, and that's a good thing. It enables you to do what you need to do. Climb up trees and cut them down. Go spelunking. Do whatever it is. Go out and have a few drinks and throw axes at a wall. Who thought that was a good idea? Me. It's a great idea. We can't do those things if we have overly prescriptive legislation. So what we do is we have vague legislation that's goal-based. Achieve the lowest reasonable and practical form of risk management that you can to get the job don't. People find that really confusing. Even safety people find that really confusing, and we struggle to implement that. So there's always a lot of confusion. There's not a lot of clarity, who's doing safety and so on. The other thing I would add to confusion as well is responsibilities. A lack of clarity on responsibilities. It's a common saying that safety is everyone's responsibility. There's a saying that we have in my family is everyone's watching the kids, no one's watching the kids. Because we think everyone's doing it, ultimately everyone stops looking because we think everyone's doing it. That's the same with safety. You need to assign safety as part of your manager's responsibilities. Go from confusion to clarity. Compliance over risk. We're overly focused on, does that make us compliant? Well, how can you be compliant with goal-based legislation, right? It's really hard to do. We're focused on paperwork over action. Action reduce risk, paperwork. Yes, it will help you should you end up in court, providing it reflects reality, which we'll come on to later. Opinions over facts. So much safety, whether it's safety people or even people on the shop floor, middle managers or directors, most of it is opinion based. Or you could argue it's anecdotal facts. I've been doing this 20 years, never had an accident. That doesn't give us any statistical analysis for us to be able to make a good risk-based decision. There are opinions over facts. We go in with health and safety's gone mad. Health and safety is common sense, which in its own right needs a video, right? That's opinions over facts. Let's look at proper facts. Let's look at science. Let's look at what the legislation says. Let's look at what data says of how many people having this type of incident around the UK, around the world. Opinions are not helpful, facts are very helpful. Absence of negatives, remember what we said over here is KPIs are all about positives. Over here, when we talk about safety, what we do is we haven't had any accidents, therefore we're safe. That's like saying we're efficient on tax because the HMRC hasn't sent us to jail yet. It doesn't work. Absence of negatives is not helpful, right? We want presence of positives, the same as the rest of the business's KPIs. Let's talk about how you can move forward with this. How can you come up with some tangible solutions to help you solve this problem? Okay, let's talk about now, what does good look like? What can you do about all of the stuff I've been moaning about? Here are some hard and fast, simple rules to help you move forward. To get good safety, you need clear ownership. Good safety starts with clear roles and responsibilities. Yes, safety lies with the director of the business, 100%, but you can delegate the doing of that, and you need to do that. So managers need to be responsible for safety of their departments and their teams, to tell them that they are responsible for their team. Knowing what good looks like. Set standards and set non-negotiables, right? In your documents, in your policies, in your procedures, whatever it is, make people clear of what good looks like. Have some standards for a job. You know, all jobs must have RAMs that correctly reflect the job. A good job has a pre-start check. You know, we use good tools and all of that stuff. Whatever it is, make some things that are presence of positives, right? The clear golden thread I'm trying to get across here is presence of positives. Presence of positives. Have things that contribute to the day-to-day job. Tell them what good looks like rules that shouldn't ever be broken, explicit. These should kind of be the opposites of everything we've just said, right? So don't say things like, we don't work in unsafe environments, or stop if you think it's unsafe. Say, we don't work without guarding. We do not remove guarding. We don't work at height without edge protection. We don't work with broken tools. We don't work with wrong tools. You know, set rules like that apply to your workforce. Simple systems that deliver good consistently. Right? Set systems, build procedures and method statements that help people deliver the good. You wouldn't have finance and sales operating without procedures, would you? You wouldn't have them operating without a CRM, without a way to track good and record KPIs and all of that stuff. You wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have a sales team without some form of task management tool. Operations and safety is no different, right? Have good SOPs that reflect reality. Experienced people are great, but they don't know your way. Put it in a system. Systemize good safety. Good safety should just be how you run the business. Systemize that. Dashboards, risk and support. Last three to tie us off. Leaders need visibility. You are a leader, you need visibility. Dashboards shouldn't say no accidents, therefore we are safe. They should show those presence of positives, people. If a good job means we've done this check, that should be one of your KPIs. Risk assessments are legally required, so let's do them, and let's do them well, right? Let's do them so they reflect your work. Make them part of the planning process. Don't just treat them like this tick box thing you have to do 2 weeks or 2 days before the job. Treat them as part of your quoting and planning process. Finally, have a system of support that encourages people to speak up and encourages people to pick the phone up and say, boss, this don't feel right, or boss, something's not right here. If people are comfortable to phone and tell you that there is a problem, you'll learn more. The more you learn, the better you will be. Make people feel comfortable to tell you the bad things. I appreciate that it's frustrating as a business owner. You're constantly getting told problems, but these are the things you want to hear because they're the things that will bite you in the ass if you don't know about them. They're my top tips. If you want to do good safety, do those things. Okay, I hope that helps. Don't forget, drop me an email if you want RAMS checklist. If you want to have a free guidebook, send me your address and I'll ship you one out. James at Riskfluent Ltd. If you want some support with this stuff, go to www.riskfluentltd.com and me and my team will totally help you implement this stuff in your business. We're doing it for loads of businesses all around the UK. If you want to have technology, which is a key part of making this streamlined, really simple and successful, go to www.riskassessor.net. You can try our system. I genuinely think we're one of the best at RAMS on the market, particularly as an app. So you can do RAMS on the go, on the shop floor, in the field. Just try it for free. www.riskassessor.net. Thanks for watching. Catch you next video. Safe.